we are going to be talking about marketing starts in the mirror, selling from the inside out. Now, before we sell to the world, we have to sell to ourselves. So the most powerful marketing starts not with a campaign to the outside, but conviction on the inside. Your employees, they're your first market. Because if they buy in, if they align, if they connect with your identity, then your message will resonate just like an instrument. But if they don't, it collapses under its own weight. It becomes this burden instead of this resonance that just creates beautiful music. I love music. So I love using the purpose-built framework. The hand for what we do, the head for how we do it, and the heart for why we exist. Culture alignment begins when all three are in sync and actually living from that inside out. And culture is not just a mood that we happen to be in one day. It is not beanbags. It is not a foosball table. It is what I would call corporate character. It's what happens when the boss isn't watching and what others feel when they encounter your team. Culture is your character. Now, most organizations, they're going to have, and I'm going to say all organizations, have an identity gap. It's that space between what we say versus how we actually behave. You don't need to believe anything better, but you need to sometimes act better. The smaller that gap, the stronger the brand identity and the stronger the brand integrity and character. Now, Peter Senge reminds us that shared vision, that space in between personal and corporate vision, that space will move people from being compliant to being committed. That's a high-performing team. We don't want rule followers. We want mission owners. Your space speaks. Every wall, every meeting, and every story should whisper and nudge and just move people towards your identity. It's a big canvas. Take advantage of it. Internal marketing turns our brand values into the lived experience on the inside of the walls. Now, if your team doesn't feel it, your customers, they're not going to feel it either. That sales energy, it's emotional contagion. It's a belief that's transmitted through authentic enthusiasm. And sometimes it comes in a uniform. All right. So here, a quick case study. I want to talk about H-E-B. They don't just sell groceries. They're actually great about selling neighborliness. Employees, they embody the brand identity because people matter. And if you've been around Kerrville in recent times, you know H-E-B was one of the first ones to show up to express their brand in real service into the community. And right across the street, USAA, they hire for empathy. They hire for military understanding. It's very well known, but they put it into practice because that's how they hire. Their internal alignment with purpose drives this legendary customer loyalty, right? They do it great. Sometimes they don't do it as great as other times, but for the most part, they do it great. Now, culture, it's not an HR topic. Get it out of just HR. It is a marketing multiplier. What happens inside the organization, it eventually shows up in the customer experience. Just like an orange, eventually you're going to know what was on the inside of that thing. All right, so neuroscience, real quick. In the brain, high trust environments, they release oxytocin. All right, so literally rewiring teams for creativity and for generosity. That high trust environment on the inside is going to rewire your team to create a great brand on the outside. That trust, it's also going to fuel innovation, and it will fuel authentic connection inside and out. Now, your brand has three audiences: an internal, your partner audience, and also your external. But focusing on that internal, that core, you got to strengthen your core in order to perform out in the real world. So internal alignment ensures consistency across every customer touch point. Now, stories, they're not just communication. They're identity activation. Internal storytelling reinforces shared meaning and pride. Not just telling stories about you yourself, but telling stories about all the people who are exemplifying your brand, exemplifying your values. And then we get to look in that mirror of that story. And those values, they don't mean anything until they shape our behaviors. So this is that point when the feedback that we give as leaders, the hiring that we do through HR, and the recognition that we acknowledge performance, it reflects our values and reinforces our values. It's in that place where we are living our identity. So that hand represents our actions. It's how our identity becomes visible, interfaces with the real world. Every sale, every handshake, and service moment reveals who we really are. It's really how our customers experience our values and experience our identity. But the how? The head is our structure, it's our systems, it's our meetings and our strategy. Those things need to be just oozing with our identity as well, our values, even our meetings, even the way that we do our project management. How do we measure ROI? Without clarity, our culture is going to then drift and identity into fragments. Now that heart, it gives meaning, right? So it's the why. And selling identity internally means that we will connect every person's role, every person's why, to the bigger why. Knowing their context, why we exist as an organization, and also why do I exist? Where do I fit in? And who we serve. And all this flows into this fantastic flywheel that when we align our identity, our behavior, our messaging, we will create this identity flywheel. It's full of momentum, it's full of energy that will not only attract great talent, it'll attract create loyal teams and loyal customers. So before your next external marketing campaign, look internal. The truest sales advantage isn't a message. It's really identity, alignment, in motion. Sell who you are and live who you sell. Thank you.